these home games that these teams are playing in their courts, they're getting like lectured and whatnot. Because truly, what's your leg to stand on? You're going to keep a guy from making a living. And again, I'm back to this. This is where we started today's show. And we'll get some calls in here. Just hang with me. But you're dealing with in this Knoxville courtroom, this guy deals in matters of life and death every day. This guy deals in sentences for hardened criminals. And people have had their life savings stolen from them by this or that, or deciding a judgment on somebody that's been severely injured in a case, or malpractice, or whatever it is. What is the harm in granting Joey Aguilar another year to play football in my spot where, by the way, these are appointed positions, and I'm not saying you do it for this reason, but what's the harm in granting somebody and doing something in my community that's going to make everybody cheer? I mean, who's harmed by that? Who's harmed by Joey Aguilar? You tell me. I guess you could argue George McIntyre's harmed by him. Or maybe Rusty Staub is harmed. Here's the thing. Those guys might one day be in the same spot Joey Aguilar is in right now. And then what will be the harm? If we kick this thing, like Bino's saying, if we kick this thing down the road to the point where we have 6 or 7 year players, the 6 or 7 year players, everybody will get a chance at their 6th or 7th year. If that's where we're heading, right? I'm gaming it out here. But I don't know. It's an extremely interesting thing to watch. My sense of it is that it's not going to hurt Tennessee if this thing, in fact, it's going to help Tennessee. Like Marco said, it's going to help if it drags on. And on and on. Brian, do I get a Lady Vol score right now? I want a Lady Vol score right now.
It's 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th.
That's what I thought.
They've tied the game.
That's what I thought. Now, this Nebraska club can play, right? Nebraska starting.
They are ranked 11th, and they are the team that the Lady Vols beat last year in the Super Regional at home. After dropping the first game, they came back and won the second and third.
Gave them what we call a Nebraska kicking.
That's a double dipping, Tony.
A double dipping.
I've got a point to make about Aguilar on the other side.
I'm holding my breath. By the way, the playbook with William Patterson's on the way next. He fired me up, folks, and prepared me today with a tweet for the ages about this weekend that we're about to be blessed with. Appreciate you. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio with Brett Hollander, Garrett Armbrust, and Alex Sarkis. I'm William Patterson. We appreciate you listening along with us on what could be a historic day in Tennessee football history as well as college football history, as Joey Aguilar is set to take on the NCAA in court in Knoxville today as he seeks an additional year of eligibility. And The college football world, the world period, has all their eyes on what will go down inside a Knox County courtroom in about 30 minutes. We'll get things kicked off, as we've already seen some pictures of Joey Aguilar walking in. And if Trinidad Chambliss in that case yesterday was any indication of how things could possibly go today, there could be a lot of fireworks. So we're so happy you're here. We'll cover everything related to Joey Aguilar and his court case against the NCAA as he looks to play another season for the Volunteers in 2026. But outside of that, we've also got a ton to cover in other Tennessee athletics. There's Tennessee baseball opening things up today against Nichols. There's Tennessee basketball taking on LSU tomorrow for a dark mode contest inside Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. The Lady Vols got a great bounce back win last night in Kelly Harper's return, and they've got a big matchup this weekend against Texas. So much to cover over the next 2 hours. So glad you're here. Once again, we're all on Joey Aguilar Watch, although we're not live streaming it. We will provide all of the updates over the next 2 hours. So let's get into it. But before we do so, let's welcome in the rest of the crew, beginning with Brett. Brett, how are you today?
Pretty good. You can't get fired up about today. I don't know how you get fired up. It's also Valentine's Day weekend for those that want to celebrate, do celebrate.
Oh.
You know, things like, as William doesn't, clearly. You're not a fan of the I don't know. It's not a holiday, I guess, but it's people like to celebrate love, right?
Yeah, good for them.
So yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's a good day, or it could be a bad day for a Tennessee football fan. But I hope it's a good one on this Friday the 13th too, as well. So big show. Barely have enough time to fit everything, and
I know
there's stuff that's going on that we're not going to get to. You know, I was interested in that 24 team football that the Big Ten proposed. I don't know if you saw that from Pete Thamel as well. That was interesting, but that's for another day. But too much UT stuff today. But excited to talk about it.
Garrett, to you, how are you on this Friday?
Yeah, doing good. If the weather's any indication of the news that we're going to get today, that would be nice. A nice day. Obviously, anticipation with Aguilar, decision coming today, and then obviously, as you mentioned earlier, the baseball season kicking off this afternoon. So going to try and get out there for a few innings this afternoon and watch the Vols.
Nice.
That's about it.
Alex, to you, a lot on your plate right now.
Yeah, could you ask for a better day? These are the days I live for right here. Yeah, obviously, Joey, I'm headed over to baseball right after this. So this is why you play the game, William. Yeah. This is great, and it's a great, beautiful day, as Garrett said. So the vibes are here.
Vibes are here. Let's hope they continue to roll into the weekend as we get to our first things first topic, and that is Joey Aguilar. It's trial day, folks, as Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar's preliminary injunction hearing takes place in a Knoxville courtroom later on, set to begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, as this will be a defining day for the 2026 Vols football season. And in case you've been living under a rock, well, Aguilar sued the NCAA over its eligibility rules regarding former junior college players, and the 24-year-old is seeking to regain his NCAA eligibility so he can play one more season at Tennessee. If the judge grants the injunction, it paves the way for Aguilar to play the 2026 season. If the injunction is denied, UT likely will have to move on without him. And we'll begin with this. How big of a deal is today's ruling, is today's trial for Tennessee football and really for college football moving forward, college athletics in general? You know, there are a lot of different tying factors, but I'll begin with Tennessee at least. And it's a huge day because this is the opportunity to get an experienced quarterback that led the SEC in passing last year. And you get to pair that with 7 other starters returning, a solid portal revamp with a backup running back and a new starting offensive guard or tackle and Donovan Haslam out of West Virginia. You feel really good about the offense. You'd feel even better if Joey Aguilar were to return. And on the defensive side of the football, you had a completely new group, a complete revamp in the portal with multiple top-tier players added, a top-tier defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles added, and a strength and conditioning coach that I think is going to be very valuable, not only for the defense, but as well as the offense. So there are a lot of different factors here, but all of them go back to quarterback play because that's what wins you games in college football. The defense is very important. You can have a really good defense and make it to the college football playoff. A lot of the teams we saw this year had really good defenses, but the ones that have adequate quarterback play, experienced quarterback play, are the ones that continue to advance. And I said last week, if Tennessee is able to bring Joey Aguilar back, this is a college football playoff contender, and I firmly stand with that argument because you look at across the country, the teams that have the veteran quarterbacks in this day and age are the ones that win. Why? Why is that the case, William? Well, because they've seen every defense possible. They've played multiple years. They've got all the training sessions and all the track record necessary to be able to perform in big games. And you might be saying, well, William, Joey Aguilar didn't necessarily do that in every big game this year. But you have to think about situational football, which Tennessee was terrible at this past season. Did not play complementary football, did not play situational football. And if you have a better defense, if you have some special teams go your way, this is a different group. And I feel like this is going to be a different team in 2026. And if you return Joey Aguilar, a guy that lit up the passing charts in the SEC, you feel pretty good about your chances moving forward. So I'm just going to focus on the Tennessee aspect of this, and that's why it's really big. Obviously, there are other variables that tie into this as well. But for Tennessee football in 2026, if you bring back Joey Aguilar, this is a college football playoff contending team. Garrett, to you, what are the ramifications of today's decision, today's trial?
I mean, I'm with you. I think, if he comes back, you turn a 7-5 team into a 10-2 team. I think he's that big of an impact with the wide receiver room that you have returning. Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Keys coming in. I mean, you have a lot of guys, Rodarius Jackson, and then obviously, as you said, on the defensive side of the ball, completely rebuilding your secondary. You have some return in Tyre Edmond, and you have Arion Carter and guys like that coming back, but you just feel like it's going to be a better team next year. And when you have an experienced quarterback that's gone on the road, won you an OT game in Starkville that you probably should have lost, gone down to the swamp and beat a team that you haven't beat on the road in 2 decades, like those are valuable experiences for when you play at South Carolina this next year, a team that could be improved, or when you play at A&M next year, a team that made the college football playoff. Like, I think those away games that you have to be able to win to make the college football playoff, if you have an experienced quarterback that's done it before, you can kind of check some things off the list that you wouldn't be able to do with a freshman quarterback. So obviously, the impact of him just being able to get the ball to receivers helps your offense, but just the experience to win those tough games that you have to win in the SEC if you want to make the college football playoff, I think that's an incredibly valuable asset.
Brett, to you, how big of a deal is a potential ruling in favor of Joey Aguilar?
I'm not ready to go playoff by any means with this. I mean, I still think you're 8-4, 9-3 with them. You're much more competitive, and the expectations are much higher for this team. I still have questions about our head coach, and I still have questions about Joey. I have questions about the defense, but you're going to have a more competitive football team. But the schedule obviously gets more difficult, and Joey's proven not to have beaten anybody. And can he play with, people know, hey, this is $2 million quarterback that comes with expectations as you go into a season. All the pressure of today, that he's feeling is going to be amplified in front when Texas comes to town. And when you're on the road at some of these places that now the expectations are that you should win these games. So this is a huge moment. I think this puts Heupel on a hotter seat if he gets eligible to play, because the expectations, is some of y'all are saying, are playoff. So what happens if you miss? What are we saying about Heupel and things like that? But I think for today, if he gets ruled eligible, I definitely think it makes you a more competitive team. But still, there's a lot of questions that can be had going into next season.
Alex, to you.
Yeah, I think it alters the entire outlook of next year. I mean, Brett touched on it. I think Heupel is on a hotter seat if he gets Joey Aguilar back. And boy, does it magnify games, like Garrett said, like LSU, like Texas A&M. Does George McIntyre or Faison Brandon have a chance to win those games? I don't know. And even the home games you got LSU and Texas. Those are big time, prime time worthy games that can a younger guy handle that? And Joey Aguilar has shown he can go and win games on the road, tight games on the road. That's a huge, huge deal. And if you could pick a bigger day in any offseason of Tennessee football, this has to be up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this I think determines the whole outlook of a season, and this is it. I mean, this is huge.
And that outlook will be determined in a hearing beginning at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time in a Knox County Chancery Court. And Chancellor Chris Hegarty will review Haggerty. Okay, so it's Haggerty.
Yes,
okay, it's got an E in there.
Yeah.
Haggerty will review the affidavits, consider arguments from both attorneys, and possibly hear expert testimony. The hearing could take less than an hour or all afternoon. We might not have a ruling today. It could be this upcoming Monday. We don't know how it's going to work. I sat through Trinidad Chambliss's final verdict yesterday, all 75 minutes of it. So you have no idea where this thing is going. And the reason why that thing took so long is so that if the NCAA try to come back and appeal or, take it to court another way, they wouldn't have the means to do it. So even if Joey were to get a ruling today, that process is going to take probably 45 minutes to an hour for him to read off every single reason of why the NCAA could not appeal. So we'll talk more about Trinidad Chambliss here in a moment, because I don't think it's necessarily comparable as many people are trying to make it. But regardless, more about Haggerty, the guy overseeing this today. He's a well-respected chancellor since 2021. He'll preside over the hearing, and he received his bachelor's and law degree from the University of Tennessee. And he began teaching as an a professor at the school's Winston College of Law in the fall. And I know there's been a lot of talk about, well, they're just bringing a Tennessee guy into the building to make sure he gets the ruling. All three chancellors available are all Tennessee graduates, and they don't get to pick the case they cover. So this was at random, but they all happen to be University of Tennessee grads. Does this give you more confidence, though, that he's going to get a favorable ruling, or should Vol fans not read too much into this? And from talking to people over the last week, I know he's got the University of Tennessee tag to him, but it really doesn't do anything, because at the end of the day, this is a court of law, and they have to practice and uphold the same standards as any other case, whether it be an Alabama player coming into here. He'd have to have the same standards for any person, so it doesn't matter that he's a Tennessee grad. I know visually and optically it's a bad look. A lot of people bashing the Ole Miss a judge yesterday, a guy that graduated from the University of Mississippi, and everyone said, oh, of course they got this guy. They still have to practice law. And at the end of the day, if you do so in a way that is, favored towards one person, you lose your job. Yeah. I mean, it's against the law. So I wouldn't read too much into it. He's still got to hear the case. And also, folks, this has happened before. Zakai Ziegler took it to a Tennessee court last year and was denied. And there weren't any people saying, oh, he got the favorable. I mean, they have to practice a court of law. So I know it's a better look optically, but I wouldn't read too much into it, because these guys still have to practice the court of law. Garrett, to you, does this give Joey Aguilar a better chance, or is this just kind of an optics thing?
I mean, I guess it's more of an optics thing. I still think whether, you have to go, toward the law or not, I do feel like being a graduate of the university of the quarterback that, is, the member of this case, I feel like does hold a little bit of a higher bridge. But I mean, as you said, this is obviously different than Trinidad's. He was he had a medical red shirt basically from 2022 where he was trying to get extra eligibility that way, and he played NCAA football even though it was at the Division II level, whereas Aguilar played JUCO football. So they're JUCO's not NCAA, right? So this is completely different situation. So I guess at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean a whole lot where the judge graduates from. And as you said, with everything that happened with Zakai last year, kind of a curveball and still what could happen to come.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people talking Trinidad Chambliss yesterday. Obviously, that was a very dramatic and almost reality TV-esque.
A medical case almost.
Yeah. And again, I'm saying, key difference there.
That's
but
why his started at 9 a.m.
Sure.
There's a lot more to go into that one.
But, kind of tying it back to just the judges involved. Obviously, Chambliss had a University of Mississippi judge. Same case here for Tennessee, but again, these guys have to practice the court of law. Now, the NCAA allows players to compete for 4 seasons within 5 years, and it counts junior college seasons toward that total and time period, even though junior colleges are not a part of the NCAA. Aguilar argued that the junior college competition should not factor into NCAA seasons of eligibility or an athlete's eligibility clock because junior colleges are not part of the NCAA. Under that interpretation, Aguilar has played 3 seasons of Division I FBS NCAA football in 3 years and would have 1 year remaining. In 2019, Aguilar redshirted at City College of San Francisco. In 2020, the COVID pandemic canceled his junior college season there. And in 2021 to 2022, he played 2 junior college seasons at Diablo Valley College. And then his NCAA career began. In 2023 and 2024, he played at Appalachian State. He then transferred to UCLA last offseason and then picked up and left once again to head to Tennessee following the departure of Nico Iamaleava. And now Aguilar is seeking to play the 2026 season as his final year of NCAA eligibility for the Volunteers. And it's important to really understand this case and understand the argument before going into it. Trinidad Chambliss yesterday had a medical approach to it.
Yeah.
I redshirted medically in 2022. My Ferris State coaches told me that. My Ferris State coaches could adhere to that. The paperwork wasn't filed correctly. That's the reason why. And he won that case because of that. But for Aguilar, it's I've already played, but I don't think junior college seasons should count. Diego Pavia was the same way. How many seasons did Diego Pavia play in Division I FBS NCAA football? He played 4. This past year was his 4th. So on the terms of that, the fact that Diego Pavia got an extra season last year and was then a Heisman Trophy finalist this past season, I think Joey Aguilar's got a good case. Hey, the guy just did it last year. Why can't I? I mean, I know that the number of years is a little bit different, but Joey got the 2020 season canceled. He redshirted in 2019. He played 2 seasons at Diablo Valley College. I get it. I know he's going to be 25 at the beginning of next season. But if you're going to give the eligibility to a guy in Diego Pavia who had the same type of route, played JUCO years, and then had the opportunity to play at Vanderbilt this past season, it was his 6th year of college football. He's only played 4 at the D1 level. For Aguilar, it's the same thing. Technically, this would be his, 7th season or 8th season of college football, but 2 of them were canceled, or I guess one of them was canceled. One of them he redshirted, and then 2 years would have been at JUCO. Morally, ethically, it doesn't look great. But regardless, if someone else has been able to do it, you shouldn't deny a guy in almost the exact same spot. So I believe Joey's argument has enough substance to it. I think that's why they're bringing it to a Knox County court. I believe that's why they're pulling out of that Diego Pavia case with 25 other players. Take this thing head on and go win it. And I feel like that's what Aguilar's team and University of Tennessee believes is going to happen today. But to you, Brett, do you believe Joey's argument has enough substance to be able to be ruled in favor today?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, like you said, you point to the Pavia one as a perfect example. I mean, Joey's gone pretty much almost the exact same route. And I mean, I just don't, it's almost like, what's the argument against him not getting his eligibility, and things like that. So I think it's going to be a quick case, and it's going to be decided pretty early on. And I honestly think the more I've read about it and thought about it, I feel more confident that he gets, ruled eligible today. So I like his chances.
Alex, to you, the chances and the substance of the argument.
I think you hit on it perfectly. That's why they came out of the Diego Pavia case, is because, hey, we can now go to the NCAA and say, yeah, look, you did the same thing for this guy last year. It's precedent. That's the biggest thing in the court of law is, or really, the political world is, what's the precedent for this kind of situation? Mm-hmm. And now you've got it perfectly. If you're Joey Aguilar, I share Brett's sentiment. And I think there's a really good chance that he's going to be ruled eligible for next year. And, we're going to have that answer, I think, very shortly as well. So it's about that precedent, and Joey Aguilar's got about as good as precedent as you can have.
Well, if Aguilar is eligible, he'll remain Tennessee's starting quarterback. He led the SEC with 3,565 passing yards in 2025, which was also the third most in a single season by a Tennessee quarterback. If Aguilar is ineligible, well, it's redshirt freshman George McIntyre, five-star freshman Faison Brandon, and Colorado transfer Ryan Staub, who will compete for the starting job heading into 2026. Tennessee spring practice starts on March 16th. So the timing of this, once again, very significant. The reason why they are doing this now is because you got the NFL draft coming up. You also got spring practice coming up. This stuff needs to be figured out sooner rather than later. But, getting into the outcomes of this for Tennessee, regardless, if he's ruled eligible, what does it look like for Tennessee? If he's not ruled eligible, what does it look like for Tennessee? And the ceiling, I think, is much different. The ceiling with Joey Aguilar, I think, is a lot more structured. You know what you're getting with him at quarterback. You know you've got a better defense. You've got a ton of returning pieces offensively. I expect this to be a 9-10 win team that is competing for a college football playoff spot. If you don't return Joey Aguilar, the ceiling is a lot more murky. You don't know what you're going to get with McIntyre. You don't know what you're going to get with Brandon. If Ryan Staub starts, you're really in trouble. But I can use examples that I've already seen across the country to tell you the ceiling won't be as high. Younger quarterbacks, 18, 19 years old, do not work in college football right now. Julian Sand was so great this year. He's got the Patriots alongside him. Everywhere else, it's young quarterbacks that have a ton of growing pains and do not lift the ceiling of their respective teams. Dylan Raiola, 5-star 2 years ago, 0 ranked wins. DJ Lagway, 5 interceptions in a game against LSU, cost him the game. And that season was a wash because of his play. Bryce Underwood, number 1 player in last year's class. Michigan won, 7-8 games this year? They didn't beat a good team all year. I don't care about the George McIntyre was a 5-star. He needs to play. Faison Brandon, he's a 5-star. He needs to play. You can play him at some point. You don't have to play him this year. You can give him the opportunity to continue growing, get stronger, and get comfortable in the offense. I understand you recruit those guys to play him, but that doesn't mean you have to throw him out there in a bad situation. And let me say this too. If you throw George McIntyre out there next year, like everyone wants to, and he does not perform well because he's not ready to go, what's the consensus on him going to be? Oh, he sucks. Time to get him out of town. So he could be really, really good, but he could also, like a lot of other young players that we have already seen, have a lot of aches and pains and not raise the ceiling. So I think Joey Aguilar coming back would be huge for Tennessee, and the ceiling is a lot more structured than starting an 18 or 19-year-old quarterback next season. Guys, to you real quick, briefly, what do you make of the ceiling for both outcomes of this group? Garrett, beginning with you.
Honestly, obviously the ceiling raises. I think it raises the floor more than anything, though, because I think if you have Aguilar come back, I don't think you see more than even if things went badly, I still think you would go 8-4. But I think if things went badly with McIntyre, or say he lost the job and Faison came in, you could see 6-6 if things went badly. So I think as much as it does raise the ceiling, you can make the college football playoff, it also just significantly raises your floor that even a bad season is probably 7-5, 8-4 worst case scenario, opposed to 5-7, 6-6 with that schedule that you're playing.
Brett, to you?
Yeah, I'm just smack dab in the middle. He played well last year, obviously given the circumstances, and you like him in a year too with a full time to prepare for a season. But again, the schedule is the schedule, and it's brutal. These other teams we're playing against have improved as well, just as much as we have, if not more. And can Joey go out there and do that? And that's just banking on the defense being better and banking on Joey being as good or better than he was this year. And I'm not ready to go there yet. And that's why I'm sitting right there at like an 8-4. To say we'll be like 6-6 with George or Faison, and then have possibly 4 games better because Joey is it seems like a huge, after a guy didn't even win a big game last year, it just seems like a huge jump for me, even with a guy in his second year under Heupel.
Alex?
Well, I think if you want to make a college football playoff, Joey Aguilar has to be your quarterback. And like Brett said about this schedule, I mean, your second game of the season, you're going to Bobby Dodd Stadium to play against Georgia Tech. Do you think George McIntyre is going to walk in there and win that game? He could, but I trust Joey Aguilar a whole lot more. And was the quarterback, you don't want the quarterback position to be a problem if you're Tennessee. It wasn't last year. The offense as a whole wasn't a problem. So you don't want to make, the first year under a Jim Knowles defense be, you don't want to make them carry the team.
Yeah.
So I think if you want a surefire offensive attack going into next year, it's got to be Joey Aguilar, and that gives Tennessee the best chance to make the playoff.
Brett, or I guess we'll head to the phones real quick, I should say.
We got Roberto.
We got Roberto on the line wanting to weigh in. What's up, Roberto?
What's up, guys? I don't know. Was it Alex that said it raises the floor more than it touches the ceiling?
I think it was Garrett.
Yeah, that was
it was Garrett. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I want to give credit to his dude. That's exactly what I think. I don't think it necessarily raises the ceiling because I think the ceiling hinges on our defense. But I definitely think it raises the floor. Because if it doesn't raise the floor, that's another problem for Josh Heupel. Because the floor with those freshmen would be 6 or 7. Absolutely, you have to win 8 or 9 with Joey to keep the heat off of you, and it'll probably still come at that. So that's why I think it raises the floor. As far as the precedent's concerned, guys, I'm not saying you're doing this, but for me, I want to hold myself accountable. If I'm being intellectually honest, last week I said the Chambliss decision doesn't affect the Joey decision, even if it's a negative, right? Like if it's a negative decision, it doesn't affect Joey because it's a different case. So if I'm being intellectually honest, I need to say it doesn't affect it either way. Now, the precedent I do think it sets is that these local courts, if you will, county courts or chanceries, they're the ones that's the most important precedent it sets is that's where you go. You don't go to the federal stuff. You stay at the state and the local level if you're these players. And that puts more pressure on the states to pass laws like Tennessee's does, where you can even get paid, for example, NIL while you're in high school. So what are your thoughts on I'm not saying you're not doing it because I don't know your stances, but being intellectually honest, do we really think it affects it if it wasn't going to affect it in the first place?
And in terms of Chambliss?
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave you guys. Have a great day. Great show.
You as well, Roberto. We appreciate it. In terms of Chambliss, I said it earlier. I don't think his ruling has anything to do with Joey Aguilar.
But what about in the aspect of the NCAA? They don't want to take 2 losses in a row.
I agree.
Either,
I agree. But
they're going to go harder at him.
But
than they have because they're already pissed off that this is taking place in Knox County Court.
What's a figurative going harder though? Like that's like, and I mean, I'm not. Don't take this offense, but
I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like,
as you know, I'd like to
like the NCAA went into yesterday's argument with the same type of confidence and fire they're going to come in with today. Like it's like Skip Bayless asked, just say that team wanted it more, or that now they wanted a little bit more because they already lost. Like it's the same. Like they're arguing the same thing. They're still going.
But to the NCAA's rule, like Joey's out of eligibility, but. And Chambliss is arguing a medical red shirt, which is,
and that's why that has nothing to do with it.
He deserves.
Yeah,
he deserved that medical red shirt.
Yeah,
that's the argument the NCAA has coming today. That Joey's, he's played 4 years. JUCO counts towards that playing time, and stuff like that.
But I think the counterpoint is, well, Diego Pavia had the same argument and won.
It's more about Pavia.
Yeah, it has 100% more to do with Pavia, and just because.
But there's also guys been like Pavia that didn't get it as well, right?
Well, I mean, but that's why he pulled out of this case with the 25 other players because he's going to attack this head on, and he's got a lawyer team that is, I mean, like the dream team. I mean, they're going to go in there with a good argument, and there's a reason why they felt comfortable moving this. I don't think they would have moved it if they didn't feel confident in their approach.
Well, I think they obviously feel more confident when you go into your own backyard for a football game. You play better at home than you do on the road, obviously. Yeah. And, Pavia won his case, not in like Nashville, he won it in federal court, and stuff like that. So he won an away game like twice, I guess, or at least once. So I don't know. This is going to, it's just going to be very interesting, but hopefully it comes out on our side.
We appreciate all the comments on the YouTube stream. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss any fan run content. We'll be talking Joey Aguilar throughout the next 2 hours. And we'll read those comments as well. But when we come back, we do need to talk about last night's win for the Lady Vols. We'll touch on that. Also, preface you for Tennessee baseball as opening day is today, opening weekend this weekend. So much to cover on the way right here on the Playbook.
Here at Fan Run Radio, we're not just some podcaster streaming from his mother's basement, but we're also not a bunch of mouthpieces on state-run radio telling you what we've been told to say. We're the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up. That's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
The voluntary reaction.
Can't get enough Tennessee basketball? Join Fan Run Radio as soon as every UT game is over for Big Orange Country's post-game radio free-for-all. The voluntary reaction. We'll be taking your calls on the Vols as soon as every game is over. So tune in and buckle up as we drink from the keg of glory all the way to the Final Four.
The voluntary reaction. Raw, unfiltered, real.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook on Fan Run Radio. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday. Plenty to cover, man. So much to cover today. Joey Aguilar, we continue to wait that out as that's about to get things going right now in a Knox County court. Joey Aguilar,
they're going, man.
Up against
Yeah,
they're underway.
They are underway.
Yeah. Underway.
They're speaking now.
Real quick, Timothy McGee with a super chat. You have two players that got 11 years and the other got their 7th year to play this year. Why not Joey? I'm right there with you, brother. Why not Joey if Diego Pavia had the same favorable ruling? You know, it's an example already in court. Why not Joey? Real quick, we'll switch over to the hardwood as the Lady Vols spoiled Harper's homecoming last night as number 22 Tennessee shot 52% from the field and outscored Missouri in the paint by a 54-24 margin to claim a 98-53 wire-to-wire victory in front of 10,489 fans at Food City Center on Thursday night. The Lady Vols now improved to 16-6 on the season, 8-2 in SEC play. Matched their league their league victory total from last season and remained as one of only 3 teams in the conference with 2 losses or fewer. And they were led by 22 points from senior forward Janai Barker. Redshirt junior guard Talasia Cooper filled the stat sheet with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals with no turnovers, while junior forward Alyssa Latham, senior guard Nia Robertson, and freshman guard Denai Prawl chipped in 15, 14, and 13 respectively, and Prawl and fellow freshman guard Jada Civil pulled down 10 rebounds each, with Prawl notching her first career double-double. Missouri, who drops to 16-11 and 4-8 in SEC play, was paced by Grace Slaughter with 20 points, while Shannon Dowell tossed in 11. Obviously, last night, the big takeaway, the big storyline heading into it was Kelly Harper and her return, former Tennessee head coach from 2019 to 2024, and a three-time champion with the Lady Vols as a player. She made a return last night, was welcomed by a round of applause. There was a moment pregame between Kim Caldwell and her that was, interesting to see. And overall was not a happy homecoming for Harper by any means, as Tennessee put together one of their best performances of SEC play. A really efficient night, 52% field goal ledger. And you got the complimentary production. You got a ton of players involved here. Obviously, you get to 98 points. You expect that. But this was a bounce back that everyone was looking for. Obviously, coming off that South Carolina loss, a lot of storylines, much of them negative. Kim Caldwell's club got a nice bounce back win last night. Brett, what'd you make of it?
Kind of a little shocked. I'm not surprised they won, but I was surprised at how they came out, because that was the big question for me and you coming in, was how they would respond to the criticism and just the overall play. I was very boisterous in how I felt they performed or haven't performed over recent weeks. And, at least for one night, it quiets down, and things like that. But, the big question will come this weekend, but for one night. And that was an impressive performance, and one you desperately needed, and to do it in an emphatic fashion, was the most impressive part. And couldn't be more happy for Kim and the girls for at least one night.
Alex, what's the Beacon saying about this one?
Well, they didn't quit this time, did they? I think that's how you should come out after your coach basically refers to you in that way. So it's a good win. Definitely needed it. And we got a good little Beacon team over there covering the Lady Vols, so be sure to check it out.
Big win, obviously, but what's on tap this weekend is also very important as well, as Tennessee is back on national television, back-to-back
this
weeks.
One at home, though. Maybe that'll change.
Yeah, this one's at home. Get to show off the TB, the new Jumbotron. Maybe they'll put that on the screen. I don't know. But Tennessee obviously played against UConn on national television 2 weeks ago on Fox. It was the most watched college basketball women's game of the season. Then he followed it up last week with Tennessee and South Carolina. Both those games combined to a 73-point differential. You lost by 43 to South Carolina, 30 by UConn. Now against Texas, another really, really good basketball team comes into town. You needed a big win last night. You got that. Garrett, to you, what'd you make of the bounce back? Did you see the energy? And also those complimentary performers were pretty strong.
Yeah, you were obviously up massively at half. I think you had like a 30-point lead at halftime, and then obviously almost score 100 points. As much as we've talked about how disappointing the two losses were to South Carolina and UConn, you got to give them credit. After the UConn game, they go and beat Georgia in OT, and then obviously they have a disappointing loss. More than disappointing, extremely disappointing loss to South Carolina, and then blow Missouri, out of the water. Obviously, Missouri doesn't have the same NIL, things that Tennessee has, and the same, situations that the Lady Vols are in, but still to go out and beat, a conference opponent by almost 50 points after getting beat by 50 points, you can't complain about that.
Tennessee and Texas on Sunday at Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. The meeting will mean Tennessee has played each of the top four teams in this week's AP poll, and the same squads that have participated in the 2025 NCAA Women's Final Four last year in Tampa. The contest will be televised nationally on ABC. The Vols are looking for a signature win up against a top-level opponent. They haven't necessarily gotten one yet, but a big opportunity inside the home building. I'm interested to see the status of Mia Paldo. Obviously did not play last night, five-star freshman that was highly recruited across the country. She was not available last night. Didn't matter, but it's going to matter up against a team like Texas that's really good on the glass and has some great perimeter players as well. So
Did you see their coach's comments last night? Texas?
I did. Well, and
he basically said the same thing.
Refresh
Kim
me.
said.
Yes.
Said basically we had no heart.
Yes.
He played with no heart last night because they're coming off a loss to, I think, at Vandy, I believe, is where they played last night. And I guess, he just said we have no heart. To the press. So
no heart.
It's kind of crazy. Hopefully he's getting the same blowback that Kim got.
No heart versus quitters.
I think quitters is a little more extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it in a nice way.
Yeah, that's saying it in a nice way.
Yeah, but I would have been interested to see if
a little psychological warfare.
Kim hadn't said what she said. Yeah, no, very much so.
All right, when we come back, we'll switch to the diamond as Tennessee baseball officially opens their 2026 slate today. We'll break that down, and then we'll get back to the comments and conversation about Joey Aguilar. Stay right here. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to Fan Run Radio, the sports humans.
Citizens National Bank. Experience the thrill of traveling with C&B's exclusive travel program. Customers age 50 and above with a Plus Perks checking account can participate, ensuring a safe and delightful travel adventure. Take a day trip or an overnight trip. Travel domestic or international. C&B is always on the go.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco at Knoxville Smiles. Have you ever wanted to improve the look of your smile? We know firsthand what the power of a great smile means to a person's confidence and health. Our team of doctors can provide you with an array of options for helping you achieve your cosmetic goals. From simply moving teeth into a better position, to reversible cosmetic bonding, to full mouth implant-supported dentures. It is our goal to help patients feel good about their appearance while achieving optimal health. Want to learn more? Call us at 865-539-1776 to schedule an evaluation, or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
All right, back here on the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Big Orange Friday from Knoxville. Joey Aguilar currently going through the court process right now during the break, hearing the chatter back and forth from the judge and the attorneys. Very interesting stuff, and we'll continue to talk about it in that second hour. We do just have to kind of get through all of it today, right, as there's a ton going on for Tennessee athletics. But we'll switch to opening day as the Josh Elander era officially begins on Friday afternoon as number 3/14 Tennessee opens its 2026 campaign against Nichols at the newly renovated Lindsey Nelson Stadium. The Volunteers open the season at home for the second straight year and will look to improve to 5-1 in home season openers during Elander's time on the staff. The Big Orange have posted a combined 13-2 record in home series on opening weekend since 2018, including 4 consecutive series sweeps from 2019, 2020, 2022, and 2024 during that span. And Tennessee is 78-36-2 in season openers overall in program history. And just getting into the excitement level here, really excited for this baseball team. Obviously, last year had a lot of expectations coming off that national championship win, but there's something about this year that's got a little bit more pop for me. Maybe it's the new stadium, maybe it's a new coach, maybe it's the high-level talent you brought in, but I don't know. There's something in the air for me this year with baseball that I'm really looking forward to, and we'll talk about these projected starters here in a moment. But this should be a strong season for the Volunteers. You like the lineup. You like a couple of valuable returners like a Reese Chapman. And I think this is going to be a good team. And we'll see what the pitching unit looks like this weekend. It'll be on full display. The 3 best guys available, in the words of Josh Elander. But if they're able to put that stuff down the plate, then this could be a really, really good squad. Brett, to you, you're repping the Tennessee ball cap today.
Yes.
How excited are you for baseball season?
Yeah, I'm stoked. I think the talent is really there. I think could be every bit as talented, if not more, than last year's team, and they were really good. I just think the pitching staff is what excites me the most. I mean, the amount of arms you have in there is just, because outside of Doyle, you got a little bit, but I feel like you have your 3 impact starters back to when you had Beam, Doelander, and Burns. You have that ability to really dominate as a pitching staff. And then you look at Krenzel, who could start, and then Arvidsson, the list goes on, Frederick and Hindi. I mean, it's just name after name. It's just real exciting. And then you know a lot of names, but you didn't really see a lot of them. So the Abernathys of the world, this Blaine Brown being talked down, obviously Henry Ford. So yeah, it's just gonna be exciting. And I think people are kind of overlooking Tennessee just for the simple fact Tony Vitello is not there, and I think that's a little unfair to Elander because he's the biggest part of what this program's about. And I'm just can't wait for this thing to get started today, because I think we're going to be very, very good at baseball this year.
Garrett, you said you're going to the game. How excited are you?
Yeah, I'm excited for this year. I think a lot of national media is kind of slept on Tennessee coming into the season. They see Vitello leaving, and I mean, I saw Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered has ranked 12th in his preseason rankings. I was like, come on, man, 12th. But no, I mean, as you said, I mean, you arguably had the number 1 transfer portal class in the country, right? I mean, you go out, you get Landon Mack from Rutgers, you get Evan Blanco, you get Henry Ford, who's one of the best outfielders in the country from Virginia, you get Frederick from ETSU, he was a very reliable pitcher, and then you return guys like Tegan Coons, obviously, who had some growing pains last year, but you expect him to be a really good Friday night guy this year. You bring back Arvidsson, who, he's still working back, but, you thought he was going to leave and go to the draft last year. For him to come back, Reese Chapman coming back, and then, as you said, you have the guys like Jay Abernathy and guys like that you expect to make a step this season that I'm super excited to watch. So I think this team's really good. I think they're an Omaha-type level team. I think, as you know, baseball's all about getting hot. You get in the field and anyone can win. So you just get in the postseason, you get hot at the right time, and you can win a national championship in Elander's first season. He was Tony Vitello's right-hand man. Yeah. It sucks to lose Vitello, but Elander recruited all these guys. These guys love playing for Elander. I think he's going to do massive things in a Tennessee uniform as head coach.
Alex, you'll be covering it. How excited are you to get things kicked off?
This is always my favorite day of the year. It really is from a covering perspective. I think this is head and shoulders a better team than they had last year. I mean, Blaine Brown is the guy that I think that I'm most excited to watch. 6'5", transfer from Rice, sophomore, 2-way player. He can hit mid to upper 90s on the mound, and he was hitting the ball 110 miles an hour, according to Josh Elander during the fall. So, look, that's a guy middle of the order. He's going to hit bombs. He led Rice in batting average, first freshman to do that since like 2009. Yeah. So he's a guy that can absolutely play, and he's projected to be a top 5 pick here in the next few years. Huge year for Tegan Coons. I mean, we've touched on that, but big start for him tonight. How's he going to start the year? He had a 5 ERA last year and dominated in the Cape this summer. So he needs a breakout year, and he'll probably be a first-round pick this season. So the weekend starters. Landon Mack doesn't walk guys. I don't know if you've looked at his stats, but 80 innings, he only walked 17 guys.
Yeah.
So Tennessee starters can throw strikes this year. That's something even Liam Doyle at times would walk guys last year in spurts. So that's huge. Throw strikes, get those quick out. That's a big deal. And the depth in the pitching staff and in the bullpen, that's going to be a big deal this year.
You mentioned those pitchers. The projected starters for this weekend. We'll begin with tonight's matchup at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the SEC Network. All games will be broadcasted on SEC Network Plus, for that is. Or I guess I left the plus out of the first statement. All on SEC Network Plus this weekend. But tonight we got right-handed pitcher Tegan Kuhns going up against Nuno Parachi, a right-hander for Nichols. And then Saturday, first pitch at 1 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network Plus. Right-handed pitcher Landon Mack, another really solid transfer, going up against the left-hander in Austin Vargas. And then Sunday's game, also at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on SEC Network Plus, with left-handed pitcher Evan Blanco, a transfer from Virginia, going up against Hayden Luke, a right-hander for Nichols. A little bit of information on each of the pitchers. For tonight's matchup, it's Tegan Kuhns, a right-hander who was heralded as a top recruit in 2024, was in the rotation as a freshman last year, started 10 games, made 15 appearances, had some mixed results, but it's what he did in the Cape this offseason that has a lot of Vols fans and Josh Elander really excited. Quote, "I think he has just made a jump," said Elander. He's made some changes on the pitching side. I think it gives him a little bit more windows where he can attack both righties and lefties. Then just when you can come to just competitiveness, right? I think it's as good as it gets right there with Tegan. For Mack, 6-5 as a starter, 4.03 ERA as a freshman at Rutgers. He was a Big Ten All-Freshman team member and had an elite strikeout to walk ratio, as Alex alluded to, ringing up 70 while walking 17 in 80 innings of action. And then for Evan Blanco, the guy I'm probably most excited about on this team, or at least on the pitching mound, is a left-hander who went 12-8 with a 4.17 ERA in 3 seasons with Virginia, pitched 56 games, 26 starts, and he started 18 games in 2024 and 8 games in 2025. His best season was 2024, went 8-3 with a 3.62 ERA, 99 strikeouts, 27 walks, and 99.1 innings of action. In his career, he's only walked 46 and 162 innings. Alex touched on these guys being able to throw strikes and don't walk guys very often. Blanco and Mack are 2 prime examples of that.
Who's the one he compared to Dolander?
That was Landon Mack.
That was Landon Mack.
Yeah,
compare Chase Dolander to Landon Mack, but this is
something.
Yeah, most definitely. But this is what Elander had to say about Blanco. You know what you're going to get. It's a very comforting feeling as a coach. He had arguably numbers-wise the best fall of any pitcher we had on the staff, and that's high praise heading into the new season. All 3 of these guys I'm really excited for. I'm looking to kind of find that firm rotation a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I thought last year you had 2 guys you knew could go, and then it felt like Sunday was a bit of a utility day. Just see who could go. Now you've got 3 guys that can go. We'll learn more in the early part of the season how good they are, but at least on paper right now, you stack up with one of the most intimidating pitching units in the SEC, and that will be big as you get into the SEC portion of the season, going up against some really, really good clubs. But Tennessee baseball officially kicks things off today. The newly renovated Lindsey Nelson Stadium will open its arms beginning at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the SEC Network Plus, Tennessee and Nichols to kick off things in 2026. The Josh Elander era officially begins. When we come back in hour number 2, we'll talk Tennessee basketball up against LSU, and we'll get right back to the action on Joey Aguilar, as that case is currently going down in Knox County Court as we speak. We'll give you the latest updates and more when we return right here on the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. Fan Run Radio.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies, acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Hey Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Friday from Knoxville, Tennessee. We appreciate you listening along with us. It's the Playbook live on Fan Run Radio. Brett Hullander, Garrett Armbrust, and Alex Sarkis joining you. I'm William Pattison. Great stuff. And hour number one, we'll continue it here in hour number two as we talk Tennessee and LSU and basketball set for a dark mode showdown inside TBA at FCC. Also, it's Joey Aguilar trial day, folks, as we continue to track that, watch that, keep up with that. After yesterday's Trinidad Chambliss case, I mean, it's almost reality television at this point. But before we get into Tennessee and LSU, we'll update what's going down at the Knox County Chancery Court as I think it was, I'm trying to find where we got some updates on what Joey's attorneys have said. I don't know if you guys...
His lawyer said that he would lose $2 to $4 million if he was not allowed to play for Tennessee next season.
Yeah, I saw that. Where is the...
He also said this isn't about the age of the player. Chris Winkie was 28 years old when he beat Josh Heupel for the Heisman. Which is kind of, I don't know.
Pull it up, Josh Heupel as an example. Here it is. Emily Ray Cochran put out arguments that Cam Norris has made while representing Joey Aguilar. Age has nothing to do with the case. Gave the example of Tennessee punter Jackson Ross being 27. Aguilar has not played 4 full NCAA seasons. Granting Aguilar an extra year will not stop other players from trying to get extra eligibility. And without an extra year, Aguilar could lose between $2 to $4 million. So that's what the attorneys for Aguilar are saying right now. I mean, people watching both our broadcast and the live stream saying sounds like he's in trouble.
Yeah, evidently the judge is being very hard on this attorney for asking a lot of questions.
Sam Granville of WAT said that the judge has stopped the plaintiff several times, and the opening statement to question and poke holes in their arguments.
Yes, he's not messing around.
Has the NCAA done? They
haven't gone yet.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Haggerty said, before we gloss over that, can you explain this to me? That's an example of one of the things that has been said.
We said, it doesn't really. That's what we said earlier at the top of the broadcast. We said
he's already mentioned Arch Manning in here, the judge, things like that. Trey Wallace says Judge Haggerty references Arch Manning as in his question about who the highest paid QB in college football is. Haggerty references Joey Aguilar, saying, I'm very proud he's wearing orange, but if he's harping on unknown NIL numbers, I can't base my decision on conjecture.
Another one from Granville. An injunction is one of the most...
Right
I don't know. That might be a typo. Things in law, you just can't hand them out like popcorn. I need numbers and proof.
Yeah. We said he's going to be about his business. He's going to be, he's a judge. He's not, it's not like you just put this thing together.
Yeah.
I know, again, optically, it looks like he was going to, have a cruise. But they still got to do their job as judges. Yeah. They'll lose their job if they don't.
I don't know how the normal, mood of these hearings is, but
yesterday,
yesterday
I watched probably 2 hours worth of Chambliss yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's 2 hours I'll never get back in my life. But you could tell from the way the judge was talking with Chambliss when Chambliss was on the chair, and also just kind of the interactions they had with the lawyers for the NCAA, that it felt like the judge was kind of already in the camp of Chambliss, because he was going back and forth with the NCAA.
Yeah.
And he asked Chambliss, so how many years have you played?
Yeah.
Did you receive a medical red shirt? It was pretty, it's pretty straightforward, but I think the verbiage and the way they talk is
interesting.
Maybe sometimes.
Haggerty saying, I need numbers and proof. That feels pretty, strongly skewed to me. That's.
I don't know why they're saying $2 to $4 million though. I thought it was agreed upon that it was 2.
That's what Aguilar's attorney said. So
he would lose out on this amount of money.
Why?
Yeah.
But where's the 4 coming from?
I don't know.
Maybe that's other incentives.
So but that right there, that's gray area. You got to have stats, and you can't say, well, anywhere from. This is what he's set to make. That's gray area to me.
from Austin Price, maybe stuff you already know, but he said, I think next week makes the most sense on when the judge would make a ruling based on his decision-making. Said he's not normally a fast ruler of the day of.
Yeah, so we could camp this thing out for a little bit, but we'll continue to talk Joey Aguilar and give you guys the latest after we talk Tennessee basketball, because we do have to talk about that one. Tennessee basketball still rolling on, folks, entering the final weeks of the SEC slate, and the tournament is right on the cusp, just for the SEC and March Madness, but we'll get right back into it with Tennessee and LSU in dark mode. Will they light it up? Will the Vols light up dark mode? Well, we'll have to see. But the Tennessee men's basketball team that comes in at 17-7 and 7-4 in SEC play is set to continue the 2025-26 slate Saturday as it returns to Knoxville to face the LSU Tigers, who come in at 14-10 and 2-9, a ghastly 2-9 in SEC play at Food City Center. Tip-off slated for 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the SEC Network, I should say. I'm sorry. Fans can watch it on SEC Network. You got Mike Morgan and Mark Wise on the call. And obviously, we've got voluntary reaction as well following the end of that Tennessee and LSU game. Voice your opinion on Joey Aguilar and the game with VR tomorrow night, immediately following Tennessee and LSU. Ken Palm breakdown, as we always do. Tennessee comes in at number 18 overall, 41st in adjusted offense, 14th in adjusted defense. LSU, on the other hand, 56th overall, 52nd in adjusted offense, 102nd in adjusted defense. Much more solid on one side of the basketball than the other. And we'll get into our keys to the game. For a game like this, I expect Tennessee to put together a strong performance like he did against Ole Miss, but this time let's play 2 complete halves. That's the key to the game. My biggest assignment for Tennessee this weekend, play 2 complete halves of basketball, because we haven't seen it in SEC play. We've seen some great comebacks in the second half. We've seen some horrible lapses in the second half. We've seen some strong starts. We've seen some really bad starts. I want to see a complete game. LSU's not a good team. Their coach will be fired by the end of the season. They put all this NIL money in there. It did not work out this season. And this is a spot for Tennessee to flex their muscles. This should be a double-digit win and a convincing win. That's the expectation that Tennessee should have. If this is going to be a tournament team, you expose these type of teams on your home floor, and they should do so on Saturday. So I want to see a complete game. In terms of the star performers, Nate Ament continuing to get comfortable and acclimated into this new star for this Tennessee team. You want to see Jacoby Gillespie be as efficient as he was against Mississippi State. You need those star performers, but this is an opportunity for some of those secondary guys to take a step up. I'd love to see Bishop Boswell get to 10 points. I feel like when Tennessee gets a 8 to 10 performance in terms of points for Boswell, this is a team that usually has a lot of success. And in the last game against Mississippi State, it was no figure that you had a 23-point lead, and Bishop Boswell had 7 assists at the time of that. Because even if he's not scoring, he needs to get involved. And if he's finding open shots, open looks for teammates, then this is an offense that can really thrive. Really, my key to the game here is play 2 complete halves of basketball and expose this team that's going to fire their coach here in a couple of weeks. That's my take. That's my key. To you, Garrett, your keys to Saturday's action.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this is a game you should be able to win pretty easily without really thinking too much. You're 12.5-point favorites. You're at home. You're playing a team that's 2-9. Just rebound the basketball, play good offensively. I would love to see a first half where you kind of just bury them. You know, if you go up 15 points in the first half, the game's over. This is an LSU team that blew a 20-point lead to Kentucky. This is a team that's only won 2 games in the SEC. So, I mean, you're going to be able to feast on them in a lot of aspects, and you just can't go on scoring droughts. You've seen it over the past couple games. You've kind of gone on these droughts where you go 3-4 minutes or even more without scoring. You know, the Ole Miss game, you couldn't score in the first half, and you played well in the second half. The Kentucky game, you played great in the first half, you couldn't score in the second half. The Mississippi State game, you go up by 23 points, and then all of a sudden it's 5 points. So you can't go on those scoring droughts. You got to just keep the foot down. I would like to see some of the other guys on the team, as you said, a guy like Bishop Boswell get 10 points. I'd like to see Dwayne Brown have a good game. I'd like to see Estrella have a game where he's able to be good around the basket. I'd like to see Carey be able to play well. You're not going to have Nate Ament score 25 points to win this game. You can have a balanced attack and win this basketball game.
Brett, to you.
I thought you said something else. I mean, there's not really any expectations for me going into this one. This one should be ho-hum, get out of there with the win, maybe limit, Ament's minutes a little bit. He looked a little banged up the other night. So these are the games where hopefully you're winning comfortably and get some guys in, get some guys, some run out there, Henderson and Masamba, if he's healthy, things like that. So just continue to see some of these young guys and just take care of business. So let's not make this even fun and keep your foot down and just go out and win this basketball game as you should.
Alex, to you. You be in attendance tomorrow for this one?
We'll do doubleheader tomorrow.
Wow,
Wednesday,
there you
Nelson
go.
and TBA. But I mean, this would be a kind of game where you want to see everybody clicking on all cylinders. I mean, maybe like the Lady Vols did last night. You need a win like that. I feel like Brian Kelly sometimes with this team. We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Yeah.
Even if you win against Mississippi State, I mean, play 40 minutes. It's pretty simple. You're double-digit favorites for a reason at home. You're going to have a good crowd. Just get the job done. And you would like to see almost everybody have a nice night. That's what this team really needs as we're getting closer to March.
Yeah, I like that allude right there to Brian Kelly as Tennessee is taking on LSU. Let's talk more about those Tigers. With the Tennessee win, LSU would become the 8th school the Vols have defeated 70-plus times, and UT has won its last 4 games against the Tigers, with 3 by at least 14 and 2 by 20-plus. Before that stretch, the Volunteers dropped 4 in a row, 3 by at least 12. But since the changing of coaches, things have gone a little bit differently, to put it in a nice way, as LSU head coach Mac McCone from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, just 26 miles west of Food City Center, brings his Tigers into Knoxville on Saturday, coming off a 14-18 and 3-15 showing in SEC play last year. And the Tigers were picked number 15 in the SEC preseason poll. They're led by a UNLV transfer, Deedon Thomas Jr., who racks up 15.3 points and 6.5 assists per night. And my thoughts on the Tigers, this is a bad basketball team. They've got a couple of good players. I like Thomas. I liked him at UNLV, but this is not a good team. And I don't think McCohen is the right coach. I think LSU clearly has their mindset in terms of NIL towards the football team and baseball team, but they did put a lot of resources into this basketball team. The big reason why they kept Matt McCohen around another season was because they invested a lot. Has not paid off, and this is a ghastly LSU team. There should be no reason why Tennessee is in a game with them. I'm serious, like no reason. They've been run off the court multiple times in SEC play. And outside of one guy getting hot and maybe a Thomas, I don't see where Tennessee really struggles against a team like this. Am I wrong in saying that, Garrett?
I mean, you should definitely take care of them and handle them. I will give them credit. I mean, offensively, they're not horrible. I mean, they do average 81 points per game. They distribute their scoring pretty efficiently. I mean, they have 4 guys that average over 13 points per game. So this is going to be different than where Mississippi State, you have basically one guy that goes out there and scores half your points. Hubbard was the guy. You saw how hot he was in the first half. I mean, he had 15 points before you could even blink. This is going to be, more. They have Markel Sutton, averages 13.4. They have obviously Deedon Thomas that you said a second ago, averages 15. So they're going to have, a handful of guys that are going to be able to score the ball. But with Tennessee's defense at home, the home crowd, you would expect them to be able to stop this LSU team that, as you said, has not had much life in SEC play.
Well, there could be a lot of life and love in the air on Saturday. It is Valentine's Day, as Brett mentioned. Not my favorite holiday, but that's neither here nor there. Tennessee is 15-13, 12-12 in SEC play all time on Valentine's Day, including 8-5 overall and 7-4 in SEC play on its home court. So a little Valentine's Day tie-in for the people that love it. Nate Ament scored 16-plus points in each of Tennessee's last 9 outings, with 22-plus in 5 of them and 28-plus in 3 of them. He's averaging a team-best 22.2 points per game in that span, while shooting 46.2% from the floor, 41.7% from 3, and 82% at the free throw line. Been a big worry for Tennessee throughout the season, but Nate Ament has come on strong in that facet at the charity stripe. But he has 77 free throw attempts over that stretch, averaging around 9 a game. with 9+ in 5 contests. And will Nate get back into the 20s tomorrow? Because against Mississippi State, settled at 16, still a strong performance. Had a couple of really nice plays, looked like he was a little bit banged up. But now you're up against an LSU team that isn't good at basketball, and you have the opportunity to put up a 20-burger or more in front of your home crowd. So in the dark mode, I think Nate Ament lights it up, and I think that's just become the expectation for Ament at this point in the season, as he's really had an impressive stretch over his last 10 games. Brett, to you, will Nate get back in the 20s tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll say he'll get in the 20s. I think he shouldn't have any issues. They're a smaller team, and he's found ways to take advantage of those mismatches pretty well. He attacks the glass and things like that. The only thing that could slow him down is if the game kind of gets out of control or out of hand, and maybe other guys have stepped up and made this lead to where he's not needed as much and can save some energy. But I'll say he'll get around 20, 22, somewhere around there.
Well, let's focus on those complimentary performers as well, as that's been a big storyline for this Tennessee team. Bishop Boswell at 6'4" has 7+ boards in each of his last 5 games. After hitting that mark twice previously in his career, he is 9th in the league in SEC play at 6.7 rebounds a night. That's pretty impressive for a guard. And Tennessee overall, their 44.7 offensive rebounding percentage is on pace to be, per KenPom, the 4th best mark this century. It trails only the 2000-2001 Michigan State team, who had a 47, 2000-2001 Georgetown, 45.3, and 2010-2011 Old Dominion, a household name among all college basketball fans, with a 44.9. So either something was in the water in 2001 and then it trickled down to Old Dominion in 2011. But regardless, Tennessee has been one of the best offensive rebounding teams college basketball has ever seen. And the Vols have grabbed at least 35 total boards in 21 of 24 contests, with 40+ in 15, 45+ in 12, and 50+ in 6. Their highest mark is 60 on the season. And guys like Jalen Carey, JP Estrella, Felix Okpara, all the guys down low, in addition to Bishop Boswell, have been big parts of that. And per KenPom, Jalen Carey is 5th in the country with an 18.3 offensive rebounding percentage. However, his putback percentage probably is nowhere near. But regardless, a really good team on the glass going up against a LSU team that doesn't have a strength really anywhere in terms of the level that Tennessee does. Alex, to you, how do you expect those complimentary performers to play on Saturday? And do we see big rebounding events and maybe some points for a Jalen Carey, Dwayne Brown here?
I think you'll definitely see those rebounding numbers that we've really seen all year. They were better with making those bunnies against Mississippi State. It improved a little bit, but there were still some ones that they missed. JP Estrella, I remember one time in that game, Rick Barnes called a timeout. JP came to the bench. Rick Barnes is like, you have to make that shot. You could read his lips. So obviously that's still something that they're stressing. They're stressing it in practice. But I think that should improve against LSU. One thing that I think you would like to see is get Felix Okpara on the scoreboard a little bit. This is a game where you can do that. You're going to have the size advantage. Get Felix Okpara, the basketball, let him score a little bit. I think he needs that, just confidence-wise. I know he's more of a defensive, presence for you, but let him score the basketball, and I think he can, because those lobs you saw in those first 5 minutes against Mississippi State, all of Tennessee's points came off of lobs and dunks. So, let Felix get in on some of those, and I think that's something you can expect pretty well.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into our favorite segment, Call Your Shot. Tennessee, a 12.5-point favorite tomorrow, folks. 12.5 up against the Tigers. We'll do our pick, ATS, against the spread. Give me Tennessee 12.5 comfortably. This should be an 18, 20-point win in my eyes. They should not leave a doubt on the court. And if this thing is under 12.5 points, that's a concern as you move forward, because this is not a good LSU team. You're in your home building, late night game, dark mode. There's no excuse not to win by more than 12.5. So give me Tennessee to win and win so comfortably. If not, Monday could be interesting. Garrett, to you.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll go Tennessee by 15 to 20. I think they cover. I think they win comfortably. Shouldn't, knock on wood, but this shouldn't be too much of a game.
Alex, we'll go to you.
Tennessee covers. Bishop Boswell is your MVP. He's going to scare a triple-double.
Okay, now, Brett, this might scare me.
No, there's no scaring. The only thing I'm wondering is why Barnes wants to do dark mode on Valentine's Day, but I don't think there's going to be anything scary for us. I think we're going to win this start to finish pretty comfortably.
All right. All around the board. Put it on the graphic.
Plus, I'll be in the building, so I hope they win.
Oh, there you go.
Come say hi, Brett.
Love is in the air.
Didn't answer
The
that.
production room meets up at the game.
No, we take my dad to one game a year, me and my brother, so this is the one
there
we're
you
able
go.
to go to. So, yeah, excited to get down there, I guess.
Well, good stuff.
Hopefully they put on a show for us.
Real quick, we still have Matthew and Dallas on the line?
We do, yes.
Okay, we'll hit the phones real quick. Matthew and Dallas, what's up?
Happy Valentine's Day. What did you get Trevor this year for that envious romance you have over that luscious lock of hair?
Oh, him and we're going down to the Virgin Islands for the weekend. We're going to play some golf and hang out by the pool.
Nice.
There we go. Liam Cohen's joining too. He was our travel agent.
Yeah. Listen, I'll make it quick because I know you already need a break. But as you talk about calling your shot, this is going to probably shock a few folks, but I'm calling my shot as we come down the stretch here in conference play. I think Tennessee is going to finish out strong. I'm going to go 7-1. And if that happens, gentlemen, this team, granted the conference isn't as strong as it was last year, will finish with a better conference record than last year's Elite Eight team. Last year's team went 12-6. We would finish with 13-5. Is that cap or no cap? And I'll hang up with that thought, boys. Take care.
I like that. We appreciate you calling in, Matthew and Dallas. Well, let's look at that upcoming schedule to give a better answer to that question. Obviously, Tennessee plays LSU on Saturday, but then you follow that up with Oklahoma, another team that's going to be firing their coach here eventually. You play that one in TBA. Vanderbilt, I think, is your only – at Vanderbilt on the road is probably your only loss. I think you're a better team than Missouri. I think you beat Alabama once again at home. They can't rebound. That's a huge issue for them. And Charles Bediako has to go back to the G League. South Carolina, they might not even have a team at that point. And then Vanderbilt at home, again, going to be a tough game. But at worst, I think 6-2, 7-1 isn't that ridiculous. So, I mean, Tennessee would then be a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, have opportunities to climb up to a 3 seed in March Madness. I know right now you're around a 5 to a 6, but you win the SEC tournament or win a game in the SEC tournament up against another quality opponent after going 7-1 or 6-2 in that stretch. I think this is a team that could be encroaching on a top 4 overall seed. Maybe not top 4 overall, but top 4 seed in the tournament, I should say. But I'm right there with you, Matthew and Dallas. Guys, anything to add? Do you agree?
With Matthew?
Yeah.
No.
Where do you see the losses?
At the end,
we'll go down the list.
Missouri.
At Missouri.
Yes. I think Missouri's a tough matchup. They match up well with us and things like that.
We'll go down the list. Okay. On LSU Saturday. We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Win.
Everyone?
Yeah, win.
At Vanderbilt.
I have a loss.
That'd be a loss for me.
Oh, yeah, loss.
Okay. There's one loss. Missouri on the road. That's a win for me.
9 p.m. too.
I said loss.
Loss?
Win.
Okay. 3-1. Alabama at home.
Oh, man, that's pick 'em. I'll say win.
Really?
I think so.
Wow, positive approach. Rick Barnes owns Nate Oates.
I know, but I'm just trying to think about them having all their guards, the complementary pieces.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about their rebounding. I mean, if they miss shots.
Yeah, but they can get hot as a firecracker and we can't score as well.
We play them at home. I feel like since I've been a student, we beat them at home pretty much every time we play them.
I just don't like the thought of
this is the new Tennessee.
Gillespie chasing both one of their guards around all day and then trying to provide on the offensive end. But I don't know. I think it'll still be a win.
If you can beat them on the road, you can beat them at home.
But they weren't playing without their best players.
Well, and they also wheeled
I don't want to
in
hear about Bediako. He's not good.
Well, he had 10 points in the. 12 points in the game.
They were 2 and 3 with him or something.
That just shows how bad their rebounding is, though.
I mean,
even with him out there, they struggle with it.
I mean, I don't know what you want from me. I said we'd win.
I know. Okay.
I mean,
okay,
it's a pick 'em for me.
Okay.
It's a pick 'em.
South Carolina
Win.
Okay.
Yeah. Win.
Vanderbilt at home.
I think it's lost. I think they beats us twice. They're a good basketball.
I think Tennessee wins at home.
I don't think they beat us twice, but especially in that close of a window. I mean, you play within.
They're just such.
I mean, it was the same
situation
last year.
Team.
Yeah. I think 7-1 is definitely achievable.
I got either 6-2 or 5-3.
I wouldn't go. I'm not going to go 5-3, but I think 6-2 is.
We're not invincible at home. Like
you're not losing to Alabama and Vanderbilt. Like you might split those up, but I don't think you're losing both of those.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had the 2 road losses, and then one of those 2 losing at home.
Yeah. Okay, I like it though. Good projection from Matthew and Dallas. We appreciate the call. When we come back, we'll get back to Joey Aguilar. A lot going down in the courtroom right now. We'll update you when we return right here on the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching for Fan Run Sports.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. I'm happy to announce that our free stump grinding promotion for Fan Run Radio listeners is now extended to March 31st, 2026. If you've got trees in your yard that need to come down before they fall on your home, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes and mention you heard our ad on Fan Run Radio, and we'll get rid of that problem tree for you and grind those stumps for free. Call us at 865-384-2012 or check us out online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook on a Friday, a big Friday that is, with everything going down here in Knoxville over the next 3 days and what could be 4 to 5 days, depending on when this Joey Aguilar hearing/ruling gets officially made. It's anticipated at the moment that it won't be today, and it
Not
could
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was just they just finally finished with Joey's attorneys.
Yeah. So that opening statement from Joey's attorneys is done. The NCAA now will have the opportunity. I'm interested to see, does the judge snap back at the NCAA like he did with Aguilar? I think that's going to be very key right now.
Fair, yeah.
But just kind of looking, from online with some quotes here. Emily Ray Cochran says, quote, immensely hard decision that I'm going to have to make here. You can tell the judge is extremely fond of Aguilar, but he's trying to pry more out of Cam Morris in terms of more numbers and NIL examples. My early takeaway from the first hour of this is Joey's attorneys are showing their ass. You've had
They're probably shocked. Honestly,
you've had a ton of time to prepare for this.
You're never prepared for what the judge is going to ask you.
And I understand, but why are we the argument that they should be making is Pavia as an example and use that as a crux And then you can use everything else as an example, but it sounds like they're doing the NIL route. And that's what Zakai Ziegler did. Like Zakai Ziegler's main argument is if I don't play, I'm going to lose $4 million. That's not an argument in my eyes. If this is an eligibility case, you've got to stick to the eligibility route and provide examples of players that have been allowed to play on the same type of merits.
I think that's what's getting them into this numbers issue. Shane made a good point in the chat. He said, I don't think they're going to win arguing money. I don't either.
No, hell no.
Because then you get into this problem where, okay, now the judge is asking for these numbers that they don't have. So now you're in a hole.
Well, what I think is interesting, so in the complaint that was filed in the court system, Knox News obtained it last week. It says that Aguilar will be set to make $2 million this year. Why are we going in court and saying it could be anywhere from 2 to 4?
Yeah.
That leaves gray area. Just say $2 million. That's a fact. That's a stat. Boom, we're done. Maybe they're adding in the extra 2 for like endorsement deals and such, but let's just focus on what we know.
I mean, I hope Diego Pavia's name has been mentioned. Do we know if it's been mentioned?
I'm sure it has.
I mean, I hope
Maybe
so.
in the opening.
I'm sure it has.
I mean, I haven't read any opening statements, but you would hope that, Pavia would be a big focus of this.
Well, your guy you keep mentioning said the judge asked, do you have an analysis of 10 JUCO quarterbacks that 6 of them have value that is being depressed by this current NCAA ruling on JUCO athletes? I need to know the market in such an exact term that I can write an opinion on it.
Huh.
This is what Emily Ray Cochran is saying. Judge Haggerty is pressing Aguilar's attorney, wanting more analysis, backing the dispersion of income, as you're talking about.
He wants examples of guys being depressed from money.
Cochran tweets, it feels like if the judge is going to side with Aguilar, he needs more information to justify it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. How are you in the courtroom right now figuring out we don't have enough?
If that's the argument you plan to go in with, then you should have studied for the test. Like that's what it feels like. You're caught. You didn't study for the test. That's what it feels like right now. I mean, it's
an interesting thing. He said the judge is asking pointed questions about the QB market, requesting specific numbers, and then said, quote, an injunction is one of the most
that's the word I had trouble with.
Things you can't hand out them like
Sancro,
popcorn.
whatever.
I need numbers and proof. And then someone said, honest question, why does this matter to the judge? And then he basically quoted it and said, to be granted a preliminary injunction, Aguilar is going to have to prove 1, the strong likelihood of success on merits, 2, the likelihood of irreparable harm, in this case, not signing multi-million NIL deal, 3, the balanced equities, hardships, and favoring the movant, and 4, the injunctions of the public interest. So a lot of big words there that kind of seem like they don't mean a whole lot, but
Sakrosinic? Is that
there's some words that he put in that quote tweet that I've never seen before.
So Sakrosinic
You got to go to law.
is regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. So,
and what is Movant? Movant. I don't know if that's a typo or.
So basically, what he said is an injunction is one of the most sacred things. You can't just hand them out like popcorn.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those statements. It's like, man, that's heavy.
He went to school.
He did.
He's got that Tennessee education. I'd love for him to give Joey another opportunity to go to Tennessee classes. We got a question from Buck. Here's a question. What is Joey's major? Has he graduated? From my understanding, Joey's still enrolled at Tennessee and taking classes.
Yeah.
Now, the terms of enrolled at Tennessee and taking classes is, up to your own judgment. But, I mean, he's in school. So that's not a reason to be worried about. I don't know what his major is, though. I'm sure he's probably, by the time he's done here, he'll probably have 2 majors. But I don't know, not a good start. I felt really confident. I've said throughout the last couple of weeks, a 75% chance was my gut feeling, just from talking to people, directly involved with it and just, around the program. But I don't know, it kind of gone down to 50 right now. I don't like the way it kicked things off.
This is all part of the plan.
Well, I think Haggerty
I'll just grill you guys. Yeah. I'm on your side.
Haggerty was gonna get. Look again. He's got to be a judge.
He's
got to practice the court of law. But my big issue here is, if you've had this much time, you knew you were pressing this, then why didn't you come with the information necessary for it? So what's you guys' vibe right now, the confidence level? Garrett, beginning with you.
Well, I mean, I thought the people that he hired, as you said, were going to seem like they'd be more prepared just from the previous cases that they've taken on in their career. Yeah, I mean, I would say yesterday, especially, I mean, obviously the Chambliss ruling, I mean, we said was completely different, obviously going for a medical red shirt and then JUCO ruling, but you just felt that once Diego got it and then, Aguilar kind of jumped out of the stuff with the, 25 other players and was going to go kind of do it his own way, you felt like they were going to be able to provide, the information that would be able to get him eligible again. I was pretty excited about today. I thought that it would start a lot better, but yeah, I'm probably 50-50, maybe even right now, maybe even leaning like 40-60. I would say less confident than more confident.
I share that same exact sentiment. I mean, I think it feels like it's below, 50% right now. But again, if you're going to go in arguing the money, arguing the numbers, then have the numbers, because you're going to get attacked on that. Maybe this judge is grilling Tennessee on purpose, I'm not saying that he was colluding or anything like that, but you don't want to make it feel like a home game, probably. So, maybe this is part of how he does his normal jurisdiction. I don't know. But I think it's not looking as good as it did when we started the show.
Most definitely.
He's already come out hard on the NCAA. I mean, he's already asked Taylor Askew, who's who played at Tennessee Tech, how much would you give to go back and play? They're trying to put a value on what Aguilar would be losing out on. Just because he can't put a number on it, does that mean he gets nothing? ? So he's already asking questions for the NCAA too.
Yeah.
So
and that's a good strategy for, I think, the judge to do.
Yeah,
definitely. It's the right way.
So I feel like we'll get a better now. I'd love to know how many people are coming up and talking as well, because that will really dictate how long this thing will go.
Well, they said
there's no witnesses.
No witnesses. Okay,
yeah.
just
what would the witness say? I don't know.
Well, yesterday you had an all-star crew come up there, from Trinidad Chambliss's mother to a doctor to Joe.
Well,
Judge.
it's probably different because of the medical thing.
Again, it's different. I know, and we, I understand that, but I didn't know if they try to bring any experts in here and try to discuss it. So it kind of just feels like,
Pavia, can you come take the stand for Joe?
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Diego, Diego, come up there, or people that had part in Diego's case.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he did speak on their behalf or anything like that. Or I'm sure he would, no doubt about it. I mean, I would have asked him. I would have put that in my opening statements. Again, when you speak on Pavia, let's have a quote from Pavia on his thoughts about the whole thing. So,
Trey Wallace tweeting, Joe Haggerty to NCAA attorney, quote, I think Joey Aguilar has some kind of damages. They're trying to determine how to judge the actual damage to the Tennessee quarterback. So saying like if he were denied, there would be ramifications for that. I don't know. He's saying it's pretty simple right now. Joe Haggerty wants Joey Aguilar's attorney to provide proof of how much other players are making in the NIL market, and they can't prove what the market is.
This guy, Sam Granville, seems to be having the most up-to-date tweets from WATE6. He's tweeting out every 2 to 3 minutes, basically what's happening. Said the NCAA just argued junior college, quote-unquote, as a punishment is wrong. When you go to JUCO, it's your decision. There was just not a spot in the NCAA at that time.
Yeah, I'm just looking, surfing for tweets here. I think like many people are. If I know that Aguilar has irreparable harm, but I don't know the full market at this moment, am I not supposed to rule in his favor to irreparable harm right now? Joe Haggerty asked the NCAA. So, I think really seems like the basis of this is that Aguilar is going to be harmed in not getting an extra year, whether it be financial or whether it just be, kind of experiences. If he's asking like, what would you do to go back and play?
Right.
So, it's interesting. Right now, at least like if we're looking at this as a half, like a full game, first half, I thought Tennessee offensively really struggled against
Well, it felt good coming into the game.
Yeah, felt good coming into the game, but offensively in that first half, you weren't able to get a whole lot of
false
points.
starts.
But now your defense is turning things up.
Yeah,
is the way I'd look at it at the moment.
We got Heupel leading this thing
Need a
right
turnover.
now, man. Yeah, we got Heupel leading this thing right now. It seems just unprepared, poor management. Just come on, guys. What are we doing right now? This is an easy one. This is a bye game. You don't have bye games anymore.
Look, again, optically,
maybe that's why we thought.
Optically, it was supposed to be an easy one, but again, I mean, I like that the judge is going both ways, though, asking important questions to both sides. Is this the only time they're talking? Like after they're done doing this, is this now court and recess till he makes a decision? Or are there other counterpoints or anything they're going to follow through with? I mean, I know there's not a schedule for these things per se. Like obviously they want to stay on track for a time frame, but after the NCAA makes their case, is then Joey's case or Joey's attorney's allowed to come up and speak again?
I don't know.
Yeah, they'll have probably closing remarks or whatever. I'm sure it goes straight to that after this. There's no witnesses, so I don't know. I mean,
they're not going to put Joey up on the stand? I don't know. Worked for Trinidad yesterday.
I don't know. Joe Judge helped him yesterday. I don't know.
Talking about pregnant women.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the steps. I mean, I just assume, your witnesses usually come up while the plaintiffs are up there. They be, Judge, we like to call so-and-so up. You ask your questions, then vice versa, So that's not going to happen here. So we'll see how long this NCAA goes for.
Is it true that the judge, when he delivered Chambliss's ruling yesterday, was emotional while he was reading it? I saw some of those clips going around.
I really think that he literally talked for 70 minutes.
He was just worn out.
I think he had a throat thing.
Yeah.
happen.
Get that guy a drink of water.
And I saw a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, he's crying." He's
Yeah.
not crying. Like he literally he's a 65-plus-year-old man that just talked for a straight hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's truly incredible. Really was. And he did so pretty well.
I mean, he talked so long, you got the NCAA up and out of there.
Well, the NCAA didn't even bother showing back up.
Oh, they didn't hear any of his talk?
No.
Oh, okay.
They didn't show up.
I thought I
don't know if they
left.
hitched up the wagon to Knoxville or what. I mean, I think they had told the judge, we've got to head to Knoxville or something like that. But it's not the same people arguing today. Maybe just the same counsel. But again, I mean, you can't understate the impact on a decision here in a Knox County court. We talked about it earlier. Now we're number one at the top of the broadcast. Tennessee's ceiling is a lot more structured with Aguilar. The floor is probably raised as well. But for Heupel, you kind of buy yourself a one-way ticket to a hot seat season.
Absolutely.
So there are benefits to it, and being a more competitive team, having higher aspirations and starting a younger quarterback. But there's also the other side of, all right, Heupel, this is your shot. This is your chance. I did want to recap a question we got earlier from Buck. He's talking about my philosophy on older quarterbacks, saying that one had 6 years, one had 5 years, three had 4 years, four had 3, and 2 had, 1 year in college. Well, I mean, I'm happy to go down the list for Trinidad Chambliss, obviously, experienced quarterback, multiple years of college football. Carson Beck, the same way. Dante Moore, this was his 3rd season of college football, began at UCLA, started as a freshman, was a disaster, took a break at Oregon. Then this past year was really, really strong. Fernando Mendoza spent 3 seasons at California, now at Indiana. That's an experienced quarterback. Let's see.
Baron Morton.
Baron Morton, in his final year of eligibility. This was his 5th year of college football being on a team. You go to
Jake Retzloff was at BYU before.
Yeah, Retzloff, played at BYU last season. He's not a senior though, is he?
I'm pretty sure this past year was his last one.
Was that his last one?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he was a junior or not. Yeah, he was a junior this year, so he's technically still got another year. But still, a guy with multiple years of experience.
I mean, Barnett was a junior, but still had experience.
Yeah.
I mean, even the G5 teams, you see him doing it as well.
Yeah. So Ohio State's the only team that truly had a guy that had 0 experience play.
And he had the best wide receiver room of any of them.
Exactly. Had multiple NFL first-round picks alongside him. I mean, Marcel Reed, someone made a mention about him, but this was Marcel Reed's third season playing. Last year he took over for Connor Weigman at the end of the season, but he was in and out of the lineup, and you go back and look at the games he played versus, the bigger games at the end of the season. I mean, beating Bowling Green and McNeese State and Florida are not that impressive to me. Like those are the games Tennessee is expected to win, but against Texas and USC and better competition in that redshirt freshman year for Marcel Reed, they did not win games, and he was more of a runner than a thrower. And I thought this year he grew a ton in the offseason in that facet, was much better this past year. But again, if you're in the camp that Josh Heupel's on the hot seat, if you're in the camp that Tennessee needs to be a college football playoff contender, then you need an experienced quarterback.
Look, Heupel could be on the hot seat for even if he loses. He's on the hot seat for me no matter what. It just goes up higher for me.
If you start,
I'm saying that's on Heupel for not going out and get you a quarterback and leaving the hands of. I mean, I know he tried, but did he really try? I mean, you tried to get a guy that was going to go to the NFL. You spent 3 days down there, with the pitchers coming out recruiting 2027 players, and things like that. So you spent too long on two guys when you could have had at least a serviceable quarterback.
Sure.
I'm not saying you go get, but Colton Joseph, you could have had him. He would have walked right here day one, and then you could have fixed the defense. So if this Aguilar thing, this is on Heupel if this doesn't work out.
What I don't agree with is people that are like, if George McIntyre plays and he isn't good, then Heupel has a problem of developing quarterbacks. It's an example of the guy is not ready, and neither is Faison. The guy's just not ready.
George could go out there and be a game manager and win football games, even with good defense. We saw Nico do that.
Okay, but you don't have, at least on paper, it's a better defense than last year, but you don't have the returning production that you had going into 2024.
James
Pierce Jr. was.
But we just don't have any idea. We don't know McIntyre's going to be bad. You're just going off because he's young and skinny.
Well, I'm going off of the multiple examples of data that it doesn't work.
Even with good quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, what do you want to say? All those teams that made the playoff had top 10 defenses. So we're much less our quarterback being bad. We don't know what our defense is going to be and stuff like that. So I don't know. Right now it's looking like George McIntyre is going to be the guy, though, the more this judge talks.
Well, but you also got to keep in mind, and Buck, I'm sorry, I guess he was talking about how to prove my point. I must have misread that. My apologies, Buck. But, but you also got to, NCAA is also getting some flack right now as well. But
this guy's going both ways. He's keeping it fair.
Look, George McIntyre could be good, but recent history tells you he's not. He's not going to be. You're not going to be a college football playoff team with him at quarterback. You're not beating Texas A&M on the road. You're not going to be able to compete with LSU as a game manager. You're not going to be able to compete with Texas with a game manager. I
just don't know what gives you is the confidence that the defense is going to be better or that you get Joey back? Because Joey didn't beat a team last year.
But he had a bad defense, and I think the defense improved on paper.
But Joey lost you Oklahoma. He lost you Alabama.
But he also won you Georgia and wasn't the reason you lost. Vanderbilt.
He had a chance to.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You can say he never won a big game. Oklahoma did not play well. I 100% put that on him. Alabama wasn't his cleanest game either. But against Georgia, he did everything right.
He also had a tumor in his arm in the second half of the season.
Against Georgia, he did everything right. 41 points against Georgia. How many teams did that this season?
Would you view? You just wouldn't view the quarterback position as a problem last year. You didn't view the offense as a problem. They had the second best offense in the league.
It was a top 10 offense in college football.
And you have a defense that was quite literally worse in the league. So, that's the difference, and that's why it's so important. I think quarterback is the most important position in sports. Mm-hmm. You need to be sure of that position before you go into a season.
Yeah.
And I think Tennessee is short of that. If you win this case, that's the big thing.
I long get in arguments with. Oh, it looks like we're up against the break. All right. Well,
we can just go to the end if you want. I don't care. Unless you want to go to break, I've only got one set here. So.
Yeah, but I guess we got to. Yeah, we have to hit a break real quick.
All right.
But when we come back, I will tell you what I long have talked about and argued. Stay right here. It's the Playbook.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio. Knoxville.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
We make it easy to save money. Get access to thousands of discounts on shopping, dining, and travel with the CNB Plus Perks account. It's a powerful new way to save money with roadside assistance, cell phone protection, identity theft protection, and credit monitoring. Banking at CNB has its perks. Call or stop by a branch for more details.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
When Rocky Top hit rock bottom.
Multiple reports now that UT is in the process of hiring Greg Schiano as its next football coach.
A fan base's livelihood flashed before its eyes.
I mean, if there's anything inside you that still cares about the university, get down to campus right now and make your voice heard.
And then we said enough is enough.
John Reed is on the steps of the training center, and he's rallying the troops with a bullhorn.
Hell no, Schiano! Hell no, Schiano!
From the ashes, we rose up, the fan base that started a revolution and the station that led the charge.
Getting reports from within the athletic department that the deal is off. Pretty connected guy saying the deal is off. That was a direct quote.
When the time came, you were ready.
We are starting a revolution that says we're not going to take this shit from you anymore.
For the fans that refuse to settle.
We have successfully shut this down today.
This is Fox Sports Knoxville.
We are the caretakers now.
Fan Run Radio.
I need help, my babies.
All right, wrapping things up on the playbook. We got like 2 minutes. But real quick, just listening. The attorney for the NCAA saying, I love Tennessee. I grew up in Knoxville. My kids watch Joey Aguilar, but allowing him to play is just not fair for the other players in college football that have to abide by, the rules that everyone else follows. That's kind of a damning sentence, I will say.
Yeah, it is.
God, that guy's getting his season tickets revoked. But real quick, talking about wins and losses. I don't think wins and losses is a quarterback stat, if we're just being clear, because Tennessee had a top 10 offense, which is engineered by the quarterback, and the defense was 92nd in the country. Quarterback has nothing to do with that.
Yep.
So I think Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. His teams haven't been very good, but he can sling it, and he's really good at what he does, but people will characterize a loss on him even if he has 380 yards and 4 touchdowns.
But you're saying we'll go 6-6 with McIntyre, but 10-2 because of the quarterback.
Correct.
So
because
that's wins and losses.
Well, that is wins and losses, sure, but it's because the inexperience that you see across the country that then results in turnovers and quarterback-related issues, right?
Mhm.
Like, wins and losses shouldn't be the crux of why a guy is not a good option for next season. Like, did Joey Aguilar do everything possible to win against Georgia? Yes. Yes, he did. Like, did Joey Aguilar make a couple of mistakes against Alabama? Sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, your defense couldn't stop a cold and couldn't get stops. And you couldn't play complimentary football consistently. So we're out of time. We'll talk about it Monday. Plenty to cover on Monday after all the stuff going down this weekend. Coming up next, it's The Drive. But for Brett Hullander, Alex Sarkis, and Garrett Armbrust, I'm William Pattison. We'll see you on Monday, 1 to 3, right here on Fan Run Radio.